Yeah, I would like to thank Rai for taking this initiative and organizing the Rise event. It's a great honor to join other industry leaders and experts who have played a significant role in shaping the retail industry in India. I would like to take you through the Amex footprint in India and talk about how we've grown over the years. Uh, we've got presence with about 15,000 colleagues from American Express working in India, mostly in Gurgaon and Delhi, but we have other colleagues in Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, etc. 1921 is the year of establishment of our first office in India, which was in Kolkata. And 1959 is when we had our first merchant signed in India, which was Taj Hotels in Mumbai. And I'm glad to share that now we have over 1 million merchants which are accepting American Express cards warmly across the country. And we recently launched a Shop Small campaign in the market. We launched it in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore in the first phase. And then we had a second phase where we had added 3 more cities and we had it in 6 cities. And this is a global asset that we have, which we use to support small merchants across the globe. This initiative is run in all the markets that American Express operates in. And in 2021, we are actually celebrating 100 years of American Express in India. So it's our centenary year this year, actually. We are the most trusted credit cards brand for the last 7 years. And we've been ranked among the top 10 great places to work in the surveys that have happened from 2006 to 2018 that we had participated in. And we've been recognized as a leading analyst firm for customer service excellence. So essentially, we have a few strong pillars that we use to support our merchants across the globe and in our Indian market as well. We essentially have, high net worth customers who are our card members, who typically spend significantly higher amounts vis-a-vis the average card spends that happen in the industry. In fact, card spends from American Express are 3x of the spends that the average industry has. We also have customers who prefer to go and spend more at merchant outlets which have acceptance of American Express vis-a-vis the other outlets, because that's their preferred card they want to use, and they typically would want to go to an American Express accepting outlet to use their cards. We also have a very strong base of corporate cards, and here the corporates ensure that their employees are doing their T&E spends using the American Express card, and that also helps the merchants because a lot of this T&E spends is happening at hotels, restaurants, entertainment, logistics, transportation, and so on and so forth, which are typical corporate spends that happen. And fourth, but not the last, is the support of the international travelers who come into India. And these customers typically prefer to spend on their American Express card. And these are people who've come to spend and, kind of do overspending as well. And this is where there is a high level of spending which happens. So these are, the 4 pillars on which we try to support our merchants. And there is a value proposition that we offer to our merchants with these card members. We were hearing earlier in the panelists how technology is taking over in the offline space as well as online space, and there's a whole lot of merging which is happening. So with this pandemic and the resulting challenges that came across for the offline space, we've also gone ahead and aggressively promoted a lot of things, some of which are pay by link, which is essentially the merchant sending a link to the card member and the card member can make a payment. This can be for any sort of services or goods that the customer is buying. Typically works very well for car servicing, etc. also. So we've kind of promoted that, and with all our merchants, we are kind of using this technology. Contactless penetration, where you don't have to insert the card in the EDC machine. So, it's a much safer transaction with a regulation of 5,000 rupees being there from RBI in terms of tap and pay, and tap and pin for greater than 5,000. We've also been doing a whole lot of digital merchant onboarding. So, we don't really need to physically meet a merchant. We would do the documentation and the process, etc., digitally, and onboard the merchants, which is also worked well in this situation of pandemic. And for small merchants who were typically earlier accepting cash, but they now want to promote cashless payments because they want to keep it as contactless as possible, we've got these small Android machines, etc., that we are providing to our merchants, which also helps them in a big way. So these are some of the things that we are doing on the technology side. Uh, uh, yeah, in technology, we also did our small merchant survey, and we figured out, we done our internal survey, and we found out that 50% of these merchants want to do active communication with their customers on a regular basis, and a third of them wanted to go digital in terms of their presence also, as in that's their aspiration. 63% of these merchants were using SMS and WhatsApp to communicate with their card members now. 56% of these merchants were using social media to promote their products and services. And about 47% of them were actually advertising on the social media. So there is a need for having a combination of an offline and an online kind of a thing. And all these offline merchants understand the importance of connecting with the card members. We've supported the merchants in a big way over the last year and a half, 2 years that the pandemic has been on. We've done sanitation drives at merchant stores. We've done the whole sanitization of the store before it was open for the card members or the customers to come in. And we've done this in 2020 as well as in 2021. Aside from this, we've distributed over 1 lakh sanitization kits, which include masks, gloves, and other social distancing stickers, which the merchants are putting up on the floors. And this has helped in a big way at the merchant outlets, because card members feel comfortable when they see all of these precautions being taken by these merchants. So these are some of the pictures from where our colleagues have connected with the merchants and have gone to support them with these sanitization kits, etc. So we firmly believe that offline is here to stay, and it has its own space and place in the industry, and it needs to be supported. And we've done whatever was possible from our end in terms of supporting these merchants. We also have a closed loop network, which means we are the issuers and we are the acquirers as well, because we have our own acquiring, unlike the other networks which operate with third-party acquirers. And therefore, we have fair amount of smart data which is available, which we use to analyze and figure out what customers, when do they come in, what kind of spends do they do, and what are their preferences, etc. And that is something that we loop back with these merchants to communicate their offers to the card members, or their customers rather, which helps them increase their spends, because they know exactly what the card member wants from the data we supply to them, and they are able to target the right customer base. So we've done all these activities with our merchants. Shop Small, like I was talking about, is a global initiative that we run. This essentially, we ran in the top 3 cities earlier in 2021. We had about 40,000 merchants which were on Shop Small. The campaign was very simple. A card member spends 1,000 rupees and gets 500 rupees cash back. And that cash back was sponsored by American Express. The merchant had nothing to contribute to that. And this we purely did because we wanted to support these small merchants, because we personally believe that these small merchants have a lot of contribution they make to the community. There are a lot of people who are employed with them. They offer the right services and products to the customers at their doorstep, and so on and so forth. So it's very important to have these in the ecosystem. And we replicated this offer again in 2021, where we increased the merchant base to 80,000. And thereafter, actually, we had about 120,000 merchants which participated in this campaign. And it was a very successful campaign, and it worked extremely well for the card members. So I would urge you all to go to your neighborhood merchants, do visit them, do support them. And American Express is always there to support these merchants at their outlets as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vaga. And I would request Dr. Hitesh Bhatt to please be here on stage and felicitate Mr. Vikas Vaga.